Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jihad Mahamdi and I am a public speaking coach and communications coach, and I work with introverts in the professional world and in everyday life. Today I would like to talk about what happens to your body and what happens to your mind when you have a public speaking speech the next day, meaning tomorrow. This is why this video is titled, if you have a public speech tomorrow, watch this video. All right? Now, let's get into it. Before I go, if you are not interested in learning the details, going in depth with this type of information, please don't watch this video. This is a niche down type of information. I do not want people to come here and watch just a little bit and not appreciate what I'm doing, because trust me, this is high value stuff. This is what's going to help you. All right? Now, okay, I split this whiteboard into two halves, all right? The body and the mind. So what happens in the body and what happens in the mind. The body is a little bit different than the mind, and the mind too. However, we come into a conclusion at the end of this video that the body and the mind, and they are intertwined. They are one. However, they operate a little bit slightly different in a different way, basically. This is because they have different textures or qualities, you may say. Okay, so body. What happens in the body? All right? The way the human body reacts is split into three. We have fight, flight, and freeze response. The fight is when the mammal or the human is faced with a threat, with an animal, with a saber-toothed tiger or something. In the olden days, this is biological as well, from the nervous system. They fight. They either fight or they flee, they run away. Flight. Flight means fleeing, running away, okay? These are two responses that we have. We also have another response, which is the freeze response. If you watch some mammal documentaries, when they are being attacked by a predator, some animals play dead. They freeze and they stop like this, and then the predator smells them, and it's like, okay, there's nothing to eat here. I enjoy hunting down animals and eating them, you know? And then it baggers off. Then, after a while, the animal wakes up again, starts breathing, and then starts shaking to release the tension, and then goes back walking again and runs away. So this is what happens. Humans, we are just like animals when it comes to those biological reactions. So it's either we're like, oh, we're afraid, we're like trying to go really aggressive and really, you know, trying to control everything in the public speech that we're going to have, or we just run away, we bail on it. We're like, oh, I don't want to do it. You just do 5 minutes and then you bagger off, you know? That's not good. Or when you go on stage, you just go blank, and that's like the freeze response. You're like, And this is very normal. You have to understand that these things are very normal. I am a public speaker, and when I speak in front of a camera, it always happens to me. I'm always stressed when I speak in front of the camera. Speaking in front of a camera for an introvert is a little bit harder than it is for an extrovert, because we don't have social pinging. There is no reaction, and we're just talking. We are in our heads. And for example, this video, I had to repeat it twice because I know that in order to get into a flow as an introvert, you need to go through some steps, and it is normal for you to be stressed because you are exposing yourself. All right? Ultimately, that's the reason. Now, we have heat waves. Like, we get heat waves. Whenever we remember the speech that we're going to have tomorrow in front of us, like 600 member crowd, we'd be like, oh, you'll have heat waves, and you don't know what to do, and you're like, oh, you go drink water, and you're like, oh, you wash your face, and it's very scary, you know? I'm reenacting the situation because I relate to it, and I know how people think. Like, they start imagining all these horrible scenarios, maybe farting and everybody listening to it, you know, hearing it, you know, it's crazy, yeah? It's crazy how us humans torture ourselves with all of this. Okay, so the heat waves, this is what happens in the body as well, and also tight chest. A tight chest, like tightness in the chest. You can't express yourself. When you speak, it sort of like hurts you physically because we're an introvert. We're not used to talking a lot, and we don't necessarily enjoy talking a lot. So It is a big mesh of things that happen inside of our bodies. This is the body, okay? I made it a little bit simple, but it's deep as well. Now the mind, okay? Replaying scenarios. What does replaying scenarios mean? Now we are in the brain, in the mind. You sit down, you remember that you have a speech, and then you start imagining things happening. You stumble upon your speech. Maybe you go blank. Maybe you say a joke and nobody laughs at it. And then you freeze. You can't even continue. You can't even finish the speech. And then you're like, and people looking at you and they're like, look at this lad. What is this speech? This is boring. Pardon. This is what happens in the mind. This is something very scary for us introverts who don't like to expose ourselves, to the crowd or to people. We also have rereading script. I can tell you right now, if I have a speech and I write a script, let alone rethink it or reread it and keep going through it, that is going to increase my stress levels for about 100%. Okay, so this is the azan. I hope it doesn't bother you. I'm not going to repeat the video. You'll just have to bear with me, all right? And then we've got expecting perfection. Expecting perfection. We need to understand that when you expect perfection, when you expect that your speech needs to be perfect, that is a very that's a big detriment to your speech. You won't be able to deliver really well. You will only think about the way you're delivering. Is it perfect? Do I have a big chest? Do I have an open body language? Sometimes in a speech you can also do this, which is a misconception. A lot of people, they're like the ones who try to understand psychology. They're like, oh, he's got a closed body language. I'm smart. Look at me. I can read people's body language. Bollocks, man. People just try to look smart and try to look perfect. It's not true. You can say you can say you can close, you can make bad jokes, you can bomb in your speech. Sometimes speeches are not really well delivered, and that is not a means to an end. That is not an end in and of itself. Okay, you have to think like that. Do you think I'm making this video perfect, but the content is perfect, and I don't really care about that? Maybe when I have like a big budget, I can do something really high quality, yeah? But right now, what matters is you just doing it. Your message is more important than your fears, okay? And then we have, expecting perfection. Now, what to do? What should we do with that? What to do? What is the solution? The first thing, be imperfect on purpose. Sometimes when I go on a speech, I'm like, hey, hello, I'm a little bit stressed right now, which is all of the time because the stress doesn't leave. Even the biggest speakers, they do not get rid of the stress. The stress is very human and we need to understand it, man. We need to understand it. It pisses me off. You cannot imagine how much it pisses me off when I see people go and do a speech and they're clearly, they clearly are trying so hard and they're like, well, hello, I will talk about bile, duh. Come on, man, just let it go, bro. Be human, be human. That is the best thing you can do. Your message will be real. It will connect to the crowd and to the people. Even like this, the way I'm speaking, I'm just expressing myself. It is like a verbal vomit, yeah? Public speaking should be, it should be like art. It should be like a painting. You should be like screaming and yelling. Not necessarily, but this is what I like to do. It's like a sport, yeah? Especially for attention whores just like me. Now, honesty and power, being able to say, hey, I lost train of thought. Let me check my notes. Is that hard? Is that hard to do? No, it's not hard to do. You went blank? Oh, I went blank. Let me check my notes. No, it's not. Okay? Use negative visualization. Negative visualization is an ancient Stoic technique from Stoicism philosophy. So like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, they say that if you are afraid of something, that a projection to the future, just close your eyes and imagine it happen and deal with the emotions that come up. This is very difficult to do. It is painful to do, but you should try and do it and try to relax into it. We will do some exercises like that. If you want to learn more, you can write down in the comments some questions and I can create content for you based on the comments. So help me help you. Please help me help you. All right? Thank you. Now we have use the phrase "so what." Now this is not a lot of people believe this, but when you are scared, very scared, terrified, when you try to listen to the thoughts, and then each time a thought arises, say "so what?" So what? Even if you don't feel it, even if you don't feel like blasé about it, nonchalant about it, but with time, if you keep saying "so what, so what, so what, so what," you discharge the emotion from the thought. It will just be a thought that is not part of you. You cannot control it. Thoughts are like clouds, and your actions are like a bike. Imagine you have a bike and then you have clouds on top of you. What can you control? The clouds or the bike? You can control the bike. You can steal it, or I don't know what you're gonna do with it. Yeah, you can take it. Yeah, I'm not telling you to steal bikes though. Yeah, that's crazy. Why am I saying this on YouTube? Oh my God. Anyways, okay, so use the phrase "so what." Then we have relax the body. Do body relaxation rather than the mind, because the body is where the emotion lies, because a thought enters the mind and then it is like a seed, and then it is planted in your heart, and then it goes into the swadhisthana, which is the sexual organ area where action is governed, and that's when it will if you let it, it will kind of control you. If you follow it and if you believe it. The way you don't allow them to enter, it's like, hey, so what? All right, it's just a thought. And then what you do, if it enters, just relax the body. Learn about muscle relaxation, mind relaxation, and all of those things. Okay? So, this is what I wanted to tell you today. I apologize, there is the azan. I live in Istanbul right now. I'm from Algeria, but I live in Istanbul, so it is what it is. You've got to deal with it, okay? If this is actually an example, you shouldn't let external things during a speech distract you. Even though the first times it will distract you. When I filmed the video the first time, I got distracted a little bit by some noise and that, and then I had to redo the video, which is normal. It's very normal. I will be making videos as well talking about how you can film videos as an introvert, because it's a different process. There are people who just open a video like a camera and just start talking, and there are others who cannot do that. They just have to go through flow. They get into a flow to be able to talk. Okay, so if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and a comment. That will help me a lot, and share it with the people who may need it. And basically that's it. If you have questions, just ask me. You can visit my Instagram as well, and cheers.